And you saw these hyper-capitalist, libertarian, Ayn Randian, I played Bioshock and misunderstood the message ass dumbos all over Silicon Valley go, please, federal government, please step in, sir. Please, sir, I want some more. All of a sudden, a bunch of welfare queens, huh? What happened? What happened? So let's do it. Here's how Silicon Valley Bank collapsed in 48 hours. Nothing triggers me more than people being like, no, you need to get to this story immediately. Do you want me to cover immediately? Is that what you want? You want it right now? You want it right now in this very moment? Shut the fuck up. I'm going to get to it. It's Monday. There's like a million news stories I have to cover.
Exactly what happened here with SVB.
Yeah, the anatomy of a collapse of a big bank and the anatomy of a rescue from the federal government. What is SVB? It is the epicenter of tech startups, venture capital, Silicon Valley Bank. It is the 16th largest bank, or it was, in the United States. And this is really the oxygen for technology. The technology sector really goes through SVB. So a very important bank here. But what happened? Why did they get there? Well, this is a company that for years took deposits in the good times when interest rates were very low, and it grew and grew and grew. And those deposits grew, and it put that money into long-dated treasuries, into treasuries, safe, super safe treasuries, right? So this is how much they had. At the end of 2022, $128 billion worth of treasury. Look, that is amazing how much it gained. But then as things started to go south, when interest rates were rising, those were less valuable, and the company actually was selling those treasuries at a loss. When that word got out, people got nervous. The stock in the bank started to decline. Depositors started to withdraw their money. They were also withdrawing their money because technology, that sector, was in a downturn, right? And so instead of putting money into the bank, depositors were taking money out of the bank, and the bank could not sustain it. Come to the rescue, the United States government. The FDIC is going to insure up to $250,000 in normal times, and now you're going to have this facility so that above that level, everyone will be made whole.
It's not like banking as an institution is wrong, right? You're going to need banks. As long as you have currency, as long as you're utilizing currency for trading goods and buying, purchasing commodities, you're going to need banks. And when you need banks, you're going to need a big government to control said banks, okay? So do not misunderstand me. I love the FDIC. It's beautiful. It's wonderful, okay? But I also want more regulation on said banks, not less. And the VC part is like the worst aberration of hyper-capitalist dystopian future. VC culture, Silicon Valley culture, all that shit is on overdrive. It's absolutely awful. Like, I'm not like some weirdo libertarian, who thinks like we don't, this is the same energy as like not needing roads or any kind of other regulation or any kind of other safety measure that the federal government has created, especially because we know what happened without the FDIC. Like, what the do you mean? Without any kind of like protection like this, we had bank runs caused by the same exact capitalist system, by the way. I work at a credit union, and we have members coming into branches and blowing up our call center because they think we are going to collapse because of SVB. We have NCUA, same as FDIC, but people don't know and panic. You can see how bank runs used to happen. Yeah, I'm a fan of the FDIC. I'm a fan of the federal government. I'm a fan of the government doing things. You know what I mean? It's understandable. It was going to happen. I briefly mentioned it over the weekend. I was like, the FDIC is going to step, like the government's going to step in and protect the SVB depositors. Like, it's just, there's no shot that it doesn't happen, especially because, like, let's say you're a Silicon Valley, tech company, right? It's bullshit, but you still need bullshit jobs. And that company is not just like operated and owned by one individual. Usually a lot of those companies have payroll. So all of a sudden, like, if they're operating out of that bank, if they have business accounts at that bank, you're cutting off like literally money to janitors. You're cutting off money to like actual laborers, all because the bank fucked up. You know what I mean? I know that we like to, take this stance where it's like VCs, like Silicon Valley, the tech bubble. I agree. Rory V, but thank you for the 10 gift subs. But the victims in that circumstance are people who have no bounce back, people who have no say in the matter, and people who didn't do anything and will still absolutely get over. The poor get in this circumstance. What do I always say? In our current capitalist economic system, the gains are privatized, but the losses are socialized. Understand this. So when the stock market is doing poorly, you will feel that. When the stock market's doing well, though, you won't feel that because it's only lining up the pockets of the wealthy. That's how the system works, which is precisely why you do need the federal government to step in and do something about it. Wow, the federal government is again bailing out banks and rich people by effectively repealing the insured deposit threshold. It's not a bailout. Taxpayer money is not being used, which this part is true, which ironic because they did not have this energy, remember, for student loans. Student loans are not dissimilar to this process. Student loans getting pardoned by the federal government is not increasing your taxes, and yet these piece of shit monsters, and I'm not talking about Jeff Stein. I like Jeff Stein, but these fucking monsters, these animals that are at the multi-billion-dollar news media corporations did not even stutter. They lied to you every fucking day. They did that on NPR. They did that on Fox News. They did that on CNN, and they kept talking about how, wait a minute, who's going to pay for these student loans to be relieved? Fuck you, and suck my fuck. When? Oh, it's not a bailout. We must talk about the semantics of this situation when it's the banks that are getting bailed out or not getting bailed out, when it's the depositors that are getting bailed out. It's bullshit. I feel like the stock guy has a better grasp on this than you, says Fidel Castro. I don't understand how named themselves after revolutionary leaders and then in the chat turn around and say, BTC, we need BTC. We need BTC, Pog. Tell the viewers that they need to buy assets in the upcoming recession. Fiduciary Castro, Fidel Cashflow. Yeah, there's even better names that you could have used. One of the funniest parts about the story is like when crypto lovers turn around and go, see, regular traditional financial tools also collapse. And I'm like, yeah, you misunderstood the point. Yeah, I say that, not you. You're a crypto guy. I'm supposed to say, look, crypto's fraudulent, but so is the traditional financial markets. Like, you look at the system and you go, oh, well, that's why we need to go to an even more deregulated place. It blows my mind. That's me, man. I'm saying that to you. I mean, this story is wonderful in so many ways because it's just like tech bro culture, Silicon Valley, rich people wanting to be fucking coddled, and then the big government stepping in and doing the right thing in this circumstance. It's just so good. It's just so great. It's awesome. It's such an important story.